This is the Intuitive Leadership Mastery Podcast. What would it take for you to double your profits and half your stress with your intuition? Learn how with your host, Michael Light.
Hi, I'm here with Mandi Ellefson, hands-off CEO, and we're going to talk about business intuition and how you connect to the light and how that might be difficult, and also several other interesting things. In particular, Mandi has been using these techniques in marketing and sales in her business. Hello, Mandi.
Hello, Michael.
So I know you mentioned in our online forum that you had created a new Scale to Freedom kit for your business, and you use your intuition to help with that. And I'd love to hear more about that.
Yes. So I asked myself the question, and it's something that I have taken your advice on, the question of what would it take. And I took it further than just thinking about it and actually started journaling about it, because for me, I'm visual, and hearing it, imagining it in my mind doesn't work nearly as well as sitting down with a pen and paper and just writing it out, because all sorts of ideas come to my mind that otherwise wouldn't come. So I wrote this question down, and so I looked at it and writing it. So it really got me in touch with all the senses. I think what really made a difference. And I asked, what would it take to joyfully and profitably fill my Scale to Freedom program in January.
And what came?
So what came to me was to let go of some of the things that I knew would probably work, but would really be stressful. Like the Facebook ads in the past, they've been successful. I've been able to make them work, but it's been very stressful because the people don't quite have it. They don't have the relationship with me, so it's more stress to be having these interactions. And I'm finding that, and I found that a much higher percentage dropped out before the program started in the past. So really, it ended up causing a lot of problems for me, versus clients that I had found through my connections or through who had been on my list for a while or through a joint venture or something like that. Those kind of clients, virtually no one dropped off. So I knew that there was something that was off. So anyway, I really let go of that, even though I'd had so many of my very intelligent, smart colleagues say, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. And I just was able to let go of that and say that I need to take a different approach. That's not to say I'm never going to do Facebook ads again, but I'm going to definitely do it differently. And anyway, I know it's what I need to do right now. So what came to my mind was to put together something that I had been thinking about doing, which was putting together some CEO roundtables, which the whole objective was to put together a number of people in a room, six-figure businesses that are people who have successful businesses, who have the same kind of problem, that they want to come and talk about it. And it's going to do a few things for me. It gives me market research, referrals, so people who want to come to this group. So if I have clients, it's a really good way to engage with clients that maybe I haven't talked to for the past 6 months, and they can come and show up, and then it's an opportunity for them to give me referrals to other people who might want to join. So it's a great way for me to just reach out to someone in a way that I'm just giving. All I'm doing is giving, and then they're getting an opportunity to have to get a glimpse of what it would be like to work with me. And what's possible in their business, and it's a leveraged way. But anyway, I wasn't sure what to do with that. The intuition had kind of taken me a little bit, it helped me develop that idea a little bit, and helped me connect with the right people who helped me refine that idea, who had more experience with it than I did.
So when you said intuition helped you connect with those people, how exactly was that experience? Did you hear voices? Did you just get a knowing? How were you getting that information?
Well, how it was happening is, and one thing I found that makes intuition work a whole lot better is taking action. And if I'm not taking action, I can just pretty much, it's like shutting off the tap completely. And that's something that I've learned. And when I'm taking action, then what happens, it seems like I get, the next opportunity opens up, and then the next opportunity opens up, and they're just in line with the direction I want to go. And I'm really feeling that direction. And then an experience happened. I remember telling you about this actually, that I just got a really sick feeling about this other opportunity. It looked like a really great opportunity, but it just didn't feel right. I mean, I physically felt ill about it. And it was something that should have been like a really great opportunity, but it just didn't feel right at all. And it helped me make the decision faster. And in the past, I might have gone through with it, just letting my mind.
So this other opportunity on paper and rationally looked like a great opportunity.
Yes.
And your body felt physically ill contemplating it, and you took that as a message from your intuition that, no, this is not right for me at this time. And
Exactly.
And in the past, you'd have done it, and it wouldn't have worked out the way you wanted it to, or you'd have had trouble with it. It would have been a struggle.
Right. And there's been times in the past too where I felt that way about it, and it looked intellectually, it looked like a really great win. And then afterward, and I went with what my intuition said, don't go with this. And then, afterwards, like my mind was able to piece together things that I didn't see before, and I realized why it wasn't a good fit. And
so I think that's a key thing for people listening to get, because I'm imagining that many people listening, their business probably does run as a bit of a struggle, and maybe they are getting the same messages you get, perhaps in a more subtle way. And just like I had the same experience too, Mandi, that I would do things that seemed to make sense on paper, but then they were a lot of work to do, or a lot of struggle. They didn't work out easily. And being able to hear your intuition saying, hey, just go in this direction, it's a very subtle message sometimes. It's like the little GPS volume has been turned down in your car and saying, wrong way, turn a new direction required. And if you got the music turned up in the car, you don't hear the message.
Exactly. And I think that is a good point you make about all the other, you have to turn down the volume on everything else. And that's where listening to your intuition of what to say no to, I think is really important, because as I've done that, I don't find that it's a really small voice anymore. It's a much more, is a bigger guiding power. The more I've used it, it seems like even just in the past few weeks, that muscle has gotten stronger and stronger to the point where I was putting together that Scale to Freedom kit that I was going to be putting together to give as like a gift and as an opportunity for people who are really interested in working with me to get a lot more understanding about what the program is. And it really filled in all the gaps where what was missing in my sales process before, where I just didn't feel as authentic about it, and I didn't feel like it was delivering as much value as it could. And it added a tangible element that was missing before, and also connected all of where I can shine the best. I used to be a designer, and I'm also a 3D artist. So for me, creating a tactile experience for my clients is right in line with what I'm about. So that's important to me, and that's been something that has been left by the wayside in my business. And I'm really, really excited for that to become part of what I do now.
So I want to loop back to, you said when you take action on the intuitions you get, that makes the voice of intuition become louder, or you get clearer messages, because that seems important too. Because it's so easy to hear this kind of thing, but then not take action. And you're saying it's important when you get an intuitive message, go with it.
Well, and I'm just learning to trust this more now. And I think that for me, it solidifies it when I'm writing it down. And then I can kind of go through and kind of check things off as I'm doing them. But that's been a real challenge for me too. It's just knowing, getting intuitive messages and not acting on them. And then not really implementing them to the effect. And it's just really easy to get to like be in the middle of this project and you want to keep moving it forward, but at the same time you have all these other things you need to be doing. So how to prioritize that to be able to keep things going. And it's almost like, in some ways I've wondered, I'm like, maybe I need to turn this tap down a little just because I can't implement it all at the moment.
Right.
So I guess what I'm experiencing is that there's an abundance of clear messaging for you when you're open to it.
Absolutely.
And as open are you there?
I mean, your intuition loves you and wants you to succeed, and she's there ready to give you these messages, but only if you want to take action and listen is that's when, it's just like if you were mentoring someone, right? You'd pay far more attention to them if they took actions and listened to you instead of tuning you out and ignoring what you said. It just makes sense.
And, where this has been, it's something that has really solidified this for me earlier on this year. And maybe this is why I'm so receptive at this time and just really jumping on and giving it all I can with this approach, is that earlier on in the spring, I was running things in my business and things were going pretty well. And I had I had a good amount of clients at the time, and I was looking at starting another program, and it just, like everything I was trying, it just wasn't really working out. It just didn't really have a good reason. And I had this, and part of it was that like there was something underlining that was just kind of eating at me that I needed to step back and I kind of felt like greedily, I'm like, no, I don't know that I could do this. And there's such a conflict of interest that like I wanted to continue on because I said that I was going to do it, to myself. I wanted to hold myself to the integrity that I said I was going to do it. So I'm going to do it. But also there was this thing that I just knew that I needed to step away, and I didn't really know why. I knew that I needed to spend more time with my kids for the summer. I needed to be there for my family this summer, but I didn't really understand why I needed it so much and why it was so important. But I listened to it.
Oh, wow.
And what I decided, I listened to it. Well, and what was really happening was that this feeling I was getting was actually getting to the point where it was making the work that I was doing not very joyful. And when I was working directly with clients, that was joyful. I enjoyed it. But everything else about my business, it was wearing me down. And there wasn't a very good reason for it, just other than just this general feeling that I knew that I needed to step back. And I didn't really want to, which was hard. So, so I made a decision and I stepped away. And I was fortunate that I had some clients, some engagements that were kind of all ending at the same time. And one I ended a little bit earlier because it was in both of our best interests to end it earlier. And what I had is this big open space over the summer where I did very little work, except for maybe just a little bit of writing here and there. And what came, I didn't realize was coming. So I had moved houses, which was a much bigger deal than I thought it was going to be. And it turned out to be a very stressful situation for a number of reasons. I couldn't have foreseen that. And I also we had a new member of our family come. My niece came to live with us. So we've become her guardian now. And she's a teenager, and we didn't know that this was going to happen. And had I been continuing on the path that I was going, I wouldn't have had bandwidth to move. I wouldn't have bandwidth to be there for my kids. I wouldn't have had bandwidth to really be there for my niece in the way she needed it when she first came.
Wow. And you didn't know any of this when you decided?
I didn't know any of this. I had no idea. I just knew that there was this itching feeling that I needed to step away, and I had no idea why. But my life was just so chaotic over the summer, and I had no idea. And I almost broke. And my grandfather died too, by the way.
Oh, wow.
That was another thing. So and that was like in the same week that my niece was supposed to come, and then we had just moved, and like all of these things happened at once, and I was at a point of breaking already, because there was just so much happening at one time that was just kind of out of my hands, and it was really great. All these things were really great things. I mean, even my grandfather passing on, he was old. It was time for him to go, but it was a lot to manage. And had I been managing all of the business on top of that, it would not have been good for me. It would not have been good for my clients. It would not have been good for my family.
Wow.
And I averted a major, major crisis in my life and in my business by listening to my intuition.
That is amazing. So,
right.
And I love how you trusted it, even though you didn't understand why you were supposed to take off the summer. You went with it and you created that space, and you only understood later why it was so important this year.
Right, and I also knew that there was something. I knew that there needed to be some changes too, and I didn't know what it was going to be. So I just I approached things with an open mind for how it was going to be happening. And what's been fantastic is that I have come back renewed to my business, and it's just so much more exciting, and I'm loving it, and I have a whole new level of energy, and it's been great too, because I've added art back into the mix, which I haven't been doing art for a number of years. I do ceramics, and it's just been really fantastic to add that in, and I know that I knew that I needed to add that in, and I just signed up for a class. I had no idea how I was going to make this work with my business, with my family, with all the responsibilities I have, but I have made it work extremely well, and it has added so much to my creativity, and I feel like I have more space in my life, even with more stuff that I'm doing, if that makes sense.
Right. And so that was another benefit you got from taking this time off that you didn't know you were going to get.
Yes, and I've said that I've been doing that that I would be doing that for a while. And doing ceramics is not one of the things you can just kind of do for an hour or two here. It's like, it's a whole process where you have to either do it or not. And so for me, just to like go in and say, I'm doing this, and everything else is just going to come around this, I'm doing this. I've been wanting to do this for years, get back into it for years, but I knew I needed to do that. And I think that intuition really was driving that I knew that it was time. I knew it was time for me to reconnect. My long art sabbatical was done, over with.
Right. So it sounds like you're an expert at trusting your intuition at this point in your life and business. Whereas in the past, you didn't really trust those intuitive messages. And I'm kind of curious how I'm sure other people listening would love to be able to get intuitive messages that help them live their life and run their business with ease like that. But they're not quite sure how to get from where they are now, where they sort of know there's intuitive messages coming in, but they'd be a little nervous to trust it. So I wonder if we can speak to that.
So I've definitely had this problem. I don't think I would say I'm an expert at it at all. I think I have a lot of room to grow, but I think that it's having this conversation with you though, it's confirming that I am better at it than I thought. And that one of the things that it's been hard for me is where this fits in with my overall spirituality and within my religion and how that all works.
Tell us more about that.
So I think that it's been hard for me to kind of have some of the same feelings of spirituality that I would relate to, my relationship with God and my maker to how I run my business. It's just like, as I know it's all connected. I know everything's all connected, right? And the source comes from one place. That's what I believe. But at the same time, it's the disconnect, just like, how does this apply to business? And it just didn't really make a lot of sense. So I think that I was holding myself back for that reason and not sure I could trust it. So that's just been a barrier that I've had.
So, I mean, my view is that spirit or God or universe or whatever you want to call it is in everything, and everything does include your business. And my view on it is that this energy or whatever, the problem with using the God word is it's kind of a loaded term for a lot of people.
Right.
So that's why sometimes we use different words. And people put different meanings on it. But my view is it's in everything, and it wants to create and expand through everything and experience itself through different people, different animals, plants, businesses, everything. And, your business is just a valid expression of the divine spirit as a geranium or your child or, anything else. So...
yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. So it's just as spiritual to have a business and have money. Money is also a spiritual expression. That's something I had to work on in the past. There's that. I used to have that misconception that I'm now going to give the misquote from the Bible that money is the root of all evil. You probably know the correct quote on that.
The love of money is the root of all evil, right?
And there's a big difference between saying money is the root of evil, right, which makes all money nasty and you shouldn't touch it,
right?
Versus love of money, which I would interpret to mean greed, right, and going after money to the expense of everything else as the root of evil. So I think a lot of people get confused on that, and then that gets mixed up in business, and we sort of think, working in business is somehow not spiritual. And yet it can be very spiritual and satisfying.
And I think you're right on that. And I feel like I'm moving closer to that in my business by removing a lot of crap that has not adding joy, that has not been adding joy to my life. Even and the biggest enemy, I think, are all of these all these experts out there saying, you should do this, you should do that. And you know what, for some people, they really should. It will be great for them. But it's hard because I've kind of gone after that. I go after things of all right, this is a proven process system. It should work. You do X, Y, Z and it'll get this. But it doesn't always work that way for, it doesn't really make sense sometimes why it doesn't. But I'm really into systems and making things work that way, but I think it's really important to understand if this system is right for you, right for your life, and right for your business. Absolutely. And that's something that I try to...
I think that it's great to have systems in your business, and it's good to look at what systems other people have, and often they need tweaking or adjusting to fit you.
Yes.
I mean, there's a similar concept I use, which the phrase is if she can do it, I can do it. In other words, if someone else is in business and they're succeeding at marketing or sales or getting their accounts done easily or whatever the thing is, I can copy what they do to do it. And then I may need to tweak the steps to work for me and my business. It's not enough to just copy what someone else successful does. You've got to adjust it to fit yourself. Just like, when you come back to earlier in the conversation, you said you were using Facebook ads, but they weren't working for you at that time because the leads you got, you didn't have a strong connection with. That's something that other people use for their businesses successfully. But for you, you realize, no, this doesn't quite work for me now. If I'm going to get that to work, I'd have to tweak with it.
Right. And I do, and it has worked. I have had really good clients from it. It's just the amount of stress that's required to do the screening. It was not adding joy to me, and it, like you said, it needs to be done in a different way and at a different time. I am very clear right now that time is not this quarter.
Great. So, coming back to, we mentioned marketing and sales, and you said you've been using your intuition to help you with that. I'm kind of curious, what you've done there and how you've used What Would It Take or other intuitive tools.
So one of the biggest things that I was mentioning was just that Scale to Freedom kit that I was mentioning. That is that's going to be an integral part of my sales process that was missing before. So when you're looking at a sales process, taking a look at where the breakdowns are, where are you losing people? And for me, it's quite sad when I lose someone, not because I'm really that attached to them being in the program or not, but there's some people who, they weren't able to get past that fear. And it's too bad because the work that I do is so transformative that it really changes people's lives. And, I was just talking to a past client of mine that I've worked with before. And I just heard from him that his wife is now staying at home and they have a new baby in their family. And that's their third child. And they would not have been able to do that in the same way if we wouldn't have worked together. He would have been continuing to work until 2:00 in the morning, sometimes through the night, really stressed out, and it causing some rifts in his relationship. Mm-hmm. So, I really feel terrible when, and I don't, maybe that's even a strong word to use, but I really feel sad when there's someone I know that I could help and that really should be in the program and they want to, but they just weren't able to help. They weren't able to make that leap. Mm-hmm. And if it's because there was a step missing in my sales process that helps them really visualize it for themselves, then that's something that I can do about it. And that's something that I feel like intuition has helped me fill in a way that it really adds joy to the whole process of me doing sales and marketing, so that it's not drudgery. Mm-hmm. It's something that I can look forward to and be excited about.
So you mentioned an example where you saw a piece that you were using in marketing, the Facebook ads, and you just got that you should use something different right now. Do you have some examples the other way where you got inspiration to do things that worked for you? Or?
Well, one of the things that has worked for me really well was that, and I'm going to look through my book real quick to see what was, I wrote a question down of what would it take to put together I wrote out this question several weeks ago. Now that and it has taken 3 weeks for the whole thing to come together, where I fleshed out this simple marketing plan that I was working on. I wanted to have a simple marketing plan that I could take action on, feel excited about, and feel joyful with, and that's profitable. Mm-hmm. And I know that's a whole lot to say in one sentence, but that's really what I was looking for. And I put that intention out. Mm-hmm. And it's been something that's been developing for a few weeks, right? Mm. But just the other night, I wrote up this whole marketing plan, and it was the most succinct, detailed plan that I ever have written, but it was detailed in the right areas, and it was just the right key performance indicators came to me, so I knew exactly what needed to go down there. Mm. And I knew exactly how I needed to be tracking it so that I would be able to take action on it. So it helped me realize, okay, this is I need to that if I want to have 10 people in this program, and then I need to be sending out 30 of these kits. To send out 30 kits, I need to have 50 conversations, or somehow live conversations with people, and that could be a group format. And to have that, I needed to be talking to 200 people live. Mm. Wow. In some kind of...
yeah, I mean, this sounds like a great plan, but what's really great is how it came to you easily, and it was clear that this was the right thing to do right now.
That's exactly it. So
and I'm
breaking down those...
What I'm curious about is go into more of how this came to you. Like, if someone was like, wow, I really wish my marketing came to me that easily, What are some things they could do that would help their intuition tell them what would work for them?
Well, for me, I was really clear on that I wanted a marketing plan that was simple and that I wanted to know exactly what actions I needed to take to get the result that I wanted. Mm. And
so the funny thing is that emphasize that point. So you got real clear what you were asking your intuition for. So yes. I think that's a really important point. It's like if you want your car's GPS to take you to a destination, you need to put in an accurate address that you want to go to. Otherwise, it'll be giving you messages, but it'll be vague directions, turn left here, turn right there, and it isn't going to get you anywhere you want to go. So the same with intuition. Exactly.
And part of this has been patience too, and just taking the next action, the next action, the next action, and writing out some of the low points where I was feeling discouraged. So so what this has really led to me since I asked that initial question was help from a number of my colleagues who are really smart, brilliant people. Some of them, I couldn't pay them for this information that they gave me because they just don't work with. But because I was able to add value, because the relationships that I have, they just have fallen in place and helped me fill in the gaps. And really, what I'm realizing was that there was a certain amount of information that had to be gathered, and asking that intuition led me to know these are the people I need to talk to. Even if I didn't make the plan out ahead of time, it was just, it didn't all come at once. It came step by step by step. And then all at once, the plan came out where I knew exactly what actions I needed to take to get the results that I want. And I'm extremely confident with this. And what happened is I put this plan together and I printed it up, and I have an action step of every single day. I'm writing, what number. I'm actually showing where my tracking is for I'm tracking these key performance indicators on paper. It's right on my desk. That works for me. And I know how close I am to my goals. I know that if I keep on writing this, that, I have X number of events planned. I have X number of events actually done. So I know that the number of participants in my program are going to be growing if I do those things. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to stress about it. I just do those actions. And the funny thing is that I know how to do this. I train people how to do this, but it's been difficult for me to really put the details in myself and clear away all of the extra stuff and get crystal clear on exactly what I needed to do. And when I, asked this intuitive question, what would it take for me to know exactly what I need to be working on tomorrow? That's where this whole plan came out. It came out within just about 20 minutes, maybe not even that long, but that's a lot faster.
That's a very powerful application of what would it take. Can you say that? What would it take again so people can hear it?
So what would it take for me to know exactly what I need to be working on tomorrow to move this forward as quickly as possible?
I love that.
Or maybe it wasn't as quickly as possible, but because what was happening is I was getting bogged down with all of the actions I was taking. Like that, I knew I was led intuitively to be taking action on putting together this kit, but man, so many things that have to be done, from the writing and the editing and laying it out and knowing what I need to be focusing on. So now I'm just all right, breaking this down. I know I need to focus on this. This means that I'm not doing the design. I'm not doing this. And of course I know I shouldn't be doing these things, but sometimes it's easy to get caught up with things that you know how to do. And it forces me to get an editor to edit it instead of me sitting there trying to figure out where my errors are. And I know better than to do that, but still here, you get caught up with it. But with this clarity, it's not allowing me to get as caught up because I know the things I need to focus on, and it's helping me implement the rest, if that makes sense.
It does. So I just want to point out to people listening to this that you not just asked what would it take to get this task done, but you added qualifiers in, what will it take for it to be easy and fast, or whatever exactly you added in to it. And that's a great technique because that filters down the information you get from your intuition to just be things, because your intuition could probably tell you a million different ways you could get that task done, right? But you're kind of like filter. It's like when you're searching on Google, right? You could search for something really generic like food, or you could say, I want Chinese food, or I want Chinese food in this part of town, right? You kind of narrow down the search, you get clearer results. So by qualifying what would it take with the qualities you want of the thing you're creating, your intuition can help you out more with that. So that is a great method.
Absolutely.
And I also love how you not just got what you wanted, but you got to create it with ease, and it like, because that's something that's so important, that our businesses run easily and joyfully, or is to me.
Well, and I've really been embracing this probably in the past month. And this is something I've been embracing for a long time. You and I have had conversations about this, and I've taken, the what would it take question, and I've helped my clients integrate it into what they're doing, and that's part of how I coach now. It's something that I integrate into it just because it's such an effective tool to help people understand what it is that they need to be doing and find the answers for themselves. And so they're using intuition and don't even realize it. So, but what I really noticed though is since I've done this, the amount of ease has increased tenfold. I've gone from trying to figure things out, and it's being quite, I don't want to say stressful, but it's time intensive, and there's a lot of questioning to being able to very efficiently make decisions and feel more confident about them.
Can you talk more about the being more confident about them aspect?
And yes, I think that what's helped me with being more confident about it is something I'm really familiar with because I teach people to do this, but this is just a clearer process on how to get there. And what that is by eliminating, like the one of the fastest path to ease and creating more freedom in your business is to eliminate things, to get crystal clear on what outcome you want to create and eliminate a lot of things that are not contributing to that goal. And it's just incredible what that will do. But this is helping me know what to eliminate faster. And when you do that, then it creates a clearing where you have more space for the things that do matter that you are committed to. And it's just sharpening that for me. And that's, I don't know if that answers your question, and maybe I got a little off track there. I do that sometimes.
That's okay. I thought it was interesting. So using intuition as a tool to help you clarify your business, eliminate things that aren't bringing you joy, faster. And I think of intuition as a tool. It's not some mystic thing. I mean, we don't have to understand it to be able to use it. It's not like every business owner and entrepreneur understands how spreadsheets actually work at a code level, right? You just know you put the numbers in, they come out. It's a tool to help you run your business, right? Same thing with
Absolutely.
What would it take and intuition. You just have to understand how to use it and know that it will help you run your business easier. So
right. Absolutely.
And my dream is in the world that, in the future, if you said to someone who had a business in the future, do you use intuition in your business? And they're like, oh no, that's too confusing. I couldn't do that. It would be like someone today saying, oh no, we don't use spreadsheets in our business. I don't allow them. It's just too wacky.
Right.
It would be nuts.
That's quite a vision. That's quite a vision. Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's an important vision because my feeling is that businesses have got more confusing and more information is coming in and the technology is changing quicker. It's just not possible to do things the old-fashioned way anymore. You can't just do stuff through logic and rational decisions. It just doesn't get you quick enough to where you want to go.
And this shift, it could be a really good thing, because the best way to get people to change is a really big force that forces them to change, that really makes them change. And humans aren't so good at just deciding to make a change without some kind of pressure.
I would say that is often true. And what would it take for each of the people listening to be able to make a change in their business without having a crazy crisis pressure applied?
I think that's a great question to ask, and I love that. I don't necessarily think that it's not possible. That it's the most successful entrepreneurs are the ones who can let go of that need to be pushed in that direction and just choose to do it, choose to make the best decisions for their business and be led in the direction that is really supportive of the life that they want to create, instead of saying, well, I have to do it because this is how it's done. This is what my clients expect of me. This is what my employees expect of me. Just throwing that out the window and saying, this is what I want to create, and what are the actions I need to take to get there. And I think that intuition is a great tool to help you know what it's going to take to get there.
Yeah, and to let you know quickly, and to give you really good shortcuts to create ease in your business, create more money, and create more success so that you can reach more people. Because I think most people who have businesses, really they're there to, they want their business to help other people solve their problems. And if we play small and don't expand as using our intuition, we're really not helping out everyone else who could be helped.
I think you're spot on there, Michael.
Well, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up, Mandi?
No, I think that about covers it. This has been very eye-opening, even for me to see how far I've developed in this, even in the past little while. It's amazing.
I felt guided in what we were talking about. So, I think that in some ways, I'm writing a book right now on business intuition, and it sometimes feels like the book is writing me and not me writing the book. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but something just
I haven't.
Something just seems to want. Well, I think that marketing kit you created, it wanted to come out, and you let.
Yes, I actually did feel that way. Yeah, that's exactly what had happened. I think you're right on that.
Yeah, and on a larger scale, when we're aligned with our business and listening to our intuition, our business wants to come out and flow through us. It's not that we have to force it to come into the world. It's like the business was just waiting there, ready to come, and we are the right person and we have the right team together to help bring it into the world. So
yeah, that's a great thought.
Yeah, which I'm going to leave people with another concept here related to that. If you can accept that perhaps your business or your marketing kit or your book or whatever it is out there already and you're the conduit to bring it into the world, what about if you asked your business, what does it need you to do today to help it come into the world a little bit more? So that's kind of similar to what we were doing earlier with what would it take, but you can connect with the energy of whatever creation you're bringing in and ask it for advice. Ask, what does it want to do today?
Yeah, that's really an interesting question to ask.
Yeah, it might give you a different perspective. And, you can decide what you're going to do in your life and your business. You don't have to obey your marketing kit or your business, but, ask it for its opinion. It probably knows what's coming better than we do. And just an interesting perspective. So if people wanted to find you, Mandi, how would they find your business and you?
Well, my business, you can go to handsoffceo.com, and if you go to handsoffceo.com/power hour, then there's a great resource there for a simple strategy to, when I was talking about eliminating, and it goes a little bit further into how to find 20 to 40 extra hours per month that you can use to get your life back as you're scaling up your company. So I think that there's some strategies there that go right in line with what we're talking about with creating more ease in your life and in your business.
Fabulous. Well, thanks so much for sharing that with everyone. And thanks so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me, Michael.
All right. Thanks, Mandi. That was wonderful. You do so well in interviews.
Well, thank you.
Yes, so do I. I kind of turned on my interview voice when we clapped.
You did. I did notice that. That's fine. Well, my pillows supported me.
Yes, your pillows supported you. I love it. The sound is really good too, by the way, just for future reference.
Oh, well, I'm using that again. I'm totally using it. It looks ridiculous, but it works. But we'll see how it comes back. But yeah, I'm glad that was a very fantastic tip.
Yeah, I learned it from other podcasters. I went to some podcasting meetup at DCBKK, and I haven't seen you at DCBKK, I don't think, because maybe that's not your thing. I don't know.
Well, for me to fly across the world, I have to be presenting. That's what I have to do. So,
well, what would it take for you to present?
An invitation. That's what it would take for me to present.
What would it take for you to get an invitation?
I need to ask some influential people to give me a good word, I guess.
Yes.
Cough, cough, Michael. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And I love speaking and delivering
it's
stuff.
Very easy. I'm managing to present. I just, they're very lax about letting people give meetups, and they're just as effective as anything else you do there.
And actually, that might be a better way than doing a keynote, because it might, because what I have to offer isn't necessarily going to be right for everyone there.
Yeah.
So doing meetup might be better, more intimate, and right, kind of within the feel of what I do, my group.
The other thing I get that you could consider is, what if you offered a webinar on the DC, which I think you may have done in the past. I forget. Just so that people can see, she's skilled at doing this, and you get good feedback, and then it makes it easier to make the ask to present at an event.
So offering a webinar
a value-packed webinar. It's not a sales webinar. It's like you're giving however much time of tips and how to do this, or case study. I don't know what you do, but I'm sure you can imagine this kind of thing.
I have something in mind that I could do.
Peter Shankman did some of those this year, right? And I know Tim Colony has done them as well.
So then, is this like a DC-wide thing, or you just put a post up?
Just put a post on the DC saying, "Hey, I'm inspired to do a webinar on this subject," and reply in the comments if you want to attend, and include if you have questions, if you have things you want me to cover in the webinar, put them in the comments. The reason you probably know this trick, but the way DC posts work is every time someone comments, it bubbles right up to the top of the posts again. Right. And the more comments you get, the better. So you use that to your advantage. But it also makes people more engaged,
Right.
And also,
I think that's a great idea.
You hit up your friends privately in the DC and say, "Hey, please would you reply to my post?"
Okay. I think it's great. Well, and the reason why I think I haven't done the webinar thing was because I got Sam Carpenter to agree to do a webinar for the DC. And I reached out to Dan, I reached out to a number of people, and nobody was interested in coming. Nobody commented on it, there's just one or two. And I'm like, what? I could get Sam Carpenter from Work the System to come to a private session with us, and we can't So that's why I'm just like, freak, like, that's lame. So probably limiting the belief of my side. I didn't execute it like you were talking about. So
yeah, I'm very good at promoting, so I'm happy to help you. And I wrote a post about 2 or 3 years ago called "How to Pimp Your Post," and it might be worth looking at that because it had some spiritual techniques in there too, by the way.
Let's go to look that up. And actually, one of the intuitive exercises I did, it outlined an entire post that I should put in the DC, and then I got the impression that I should also submit it to Forbes.
Yes.
So.
Oh, and you write for Forbes, right? You've been
not yet, but no, I haven't. But I just got the impression that it would be good for Forbes, and I've never written for Forbes, but I'd like to.
Yes. Well, what would it take?
Well, I think fleshing out that post, but that's hard because that's for me. That's like one thing I want to do, but that's going to take me probably 5 hours to do that, and it's going to detract me from all these other things. What I saw was that I was going to use that post as a way to like get some more awareness up, because I don't really post a lot in the DC. And I think no, I don't at all. But I've gotten clients from the DC, and like still like there's so much goodwill that has happened, and people talk me up even though I've never met them. So I have some good results from being in that group, but so anyway, I was going to do a post, and I'm like, I'm going to do like an offer, because I thought I could get awareness built up around me, and then I do an offer for like $95 assessment. And that one actually, I think I got like 9 or 10 sales last time when I did that.
Wow.
So maybe it wasn't that. It was quite a few. I was impressed with how many, because like it's something that I typically would charge like $3,000 for like that. It's a small piece of that, but I'm like, I took a sliver of it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, those are some ideas. I'm not sure which is the right one to do, because I can only implement so many of them.
Sure.
But that's where one of the issues is, like the abundance. Like you get an abundance of ideas, but like at some point, closing off the tap, because it could just be too much to implement all.
That's something we didn't dig into in the thing, and I think that would be good for me to write or talk about in the future. Like, that's a fear people have. Like, if I really connect to my intuition, I'm just going to be flooded with stuff, and I feel like I can't do it all. And say that thing. I want you to say the sentence again. You said you didn't want, you were concerned about it, and you said it would become too much, right? It would.
And I guess yes. Well, what I was saying was that there's an abundance, and it's free flowing, but it's almost like, do I need to turn the tap off because it gives me more than I can implement? And even as I'm saying that, I'm realizing more than I can implement doing what I'm doing. But what would it take for me to implement all of that without working more hours, right?
Yes. So, and that is possible. And
I know, I teach this.
Yes.
It's just like, so anyway, and maybe I do need to do the post, but I just need to have, I need to pay someone I need to pay someone to help me write, to actually write it. Like,
exactly.
Lay it out, and then someone else to write it. And, that could be a good use of my time. And I guess the issue has just always been like, hesitant to invest money in something that like is untried, and not knowing if I'm going to get the money back on it.
So what would it take to know you would get the investment back?
I guess just knowing that, making a prediction about how many people I need to hit to get, like how many people I need to have within that sphere of influence to be able to then put out an offer. And if I'm able to get one more person who buys the offer, like the $95 offer, that would pay for someone writing it, probably.
Mm-hmm. Right. And writing isn't that expensive to get. So,
do you have any good writers that you like to work with?
I have. I'm working on hiring a writer right now, but I worked with someone in the DC he has an interview process. So I'm experimenting with that. His name's Kamel Kaminsky, I think his name is, or something like that. So I haven't seen what he's produced yet, but he had a whatever in-depth process.
Right.
And then I know Dustin Overbeck, he has some writer stuff he uses. He has a thing where he just gives them bullet points and then they kind of produce the thing. So that's where I am right now, but I am in the process of hiring an amazing writer, so I will probably know better. I do have someone on Fiverr who is great at editing. He's Canadian, and I gave him an article to edit, and he really improved it, English-wise.
Oh, could I have that contact? Would you be willing to share that with me?
Of course I would.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, let me find it.
Is that just $5? Like he'll do, is it more than $5?
I think it's $5 1,000 words, and you can pay more. You can either have him just improve the English and grammar, or you can have him improve the style. And I paid an extra $5, so I paid him $15 plus the $1 to Fiverr fee to do 2,000 word, clean up the English and improve the style.
That's great. I need to do, this is a perfect example of, I just had set the intention that from now on, I am going to have someone else edit my post before I send them out my emails, but I didn't know how I was going to be able to do that cost effectively. And this is an example of how putting that out there, it comes back. Like you just shared this person on Fiverr.
Yeah, I just put it into the Skype thing.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, so I thought he was good. I mean, I've also worked with Lisa Duchete, if that's her right name, if I'm pronouncing it right. And she does good work too as an editor. If you have something, I think she makes more sense if you have a bigger thing, but she will do any size thing. It just costs more,
Okay.
But I work with her on something, and I'm planning to give her a book to edit as well.
Well, fantastic then. This is good.
Yes, and I was and I do want you to be able to come to the Barcelona event or the Bangkok event, because I think it'd be nice to see you, but mainly because you would get so much.
When is the Barcelona event?
Well, this year.
Sorry, I talked over you.
That's okay. It was. I think I don't know if dates have been announced, but last year it was in June. And that was really good. That was a smaller event. It was 150 people maybe. And it would be very easy to give a meetup at that,
I might be in Spain in June.
Oh, well, perfect. No,
I know. That would be awesome.
And also, it's not that hard to, quote, fly. You phrased it as I have to fly across the world, but it's like, where are you? San Francisco? You're on West Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm a little stressed in between San Francisco and LA.
Okay, so I mean that's an easy. It's only like a 15-hour flight to Bangkok or whatever it is. It's not that hard, and you probably would get yourself a nice ticket. And if you chose to, you could do some writing or something else on the plane. It's not like it's lost time.
No, it's not even that. It's just that it's quite a production for me to be gone, because my husband has to get certain time off. And if I'm going to be going across the world, I want to go with him. I want to go with my kids.
Yeah, bring them too. Several people
maybe
did
I
that.
should.
Several people did. Daniel Martin did that. And who else did that? Several people brought their families.
Yeah.
It's nice for them to see a new place, and they get to enjoy it, and then they don't, they're not away for a long time,
Right. Yeah, and I'm definitely thinking that. I'd have to be speaking there to make it worth my time to fly across the world. But I'd love to go there and everything. I'd like to go to Bangkok, so maybe I'll have to make this part of the thing to do.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you phrase it however you want. And when you say fly across the world, it does make it sound so much harder to do.
Yes, I am putting up barriers that I guess I don't need to do. It's something I'm committed to do.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been something I'm committed to do until now. So I guess so I'm more open to it.
Yeah, we'll try. It sounds like if you're going to be in Spain anyway, definitely going to the Barcelona one makes sense because you're already there. And
right.
And then you can decide if you want to go to the other one or not, you know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Thanks for mentioning that. And I hope I was helpful for your interview.
You were very helpful.
Get strategies and show notes at intuitiveleadershipmastery.com. What would it take to see you here next time on the Intuitive Leadership Mastery Podcast?